Hey everyone, Emily with Bob's Watches. Today we're talking all about Rolex versus Tudor and comparing these two iconic sibling companies to help you decide which one belongs on your wrist. Also, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can stay up to date on all of our latest video content. It is no secret that Rolex and Tudor are related. Both brands were established by Rolex founder Hans Wilsdorf, and a quick look at their respective catalogs is all it takes to see that there are definitely some similarities between them. However, the two brands are actually separate companies, and despite the numerous similarities, there are a number of key differences worth noting. Rolex was founded in 1905, while Tudor was founded in 1926. From the very beginning, Tudor was always supposed to be the more affordable alternative to Rolex, and Hans Wilsdorf specifically established Tudor as a means to offer the same legendary durability of his flagship brand to a wider range of buyers. Initially, Tudor was able to accomplish its more accessible price point by using Rolex cases paired with generic off-the-shelf movements, often made by ETA, rather than the in-house calibers that were fitted inside Rolex's watches. However, that has slowly been changing in more recent years. Tudor underwent a major brand relaunch in 2009, and in the years since then, the company has started producing its own in-house movements and fitting them inside an increasing number of its watches. You will still find a number of Tudor watches that do not have in-house movements, but the percentage of Tudor's lineup that features its own calibers continues to grow each year. With that in mind, even though Tudor now produces its own movements, they are not the same ones used by Rolex, and there are a number of proprietary Rolex technologies, such as the blue Parachrome hairspring and Paraflex shock absorbers, that you will only ever find inside Rolex watches. Tudor's in-house movements are chronometer certified, but they adhere to COSC parameters of -4 to +6 seconds per day of timekeeping variance, rather than the -2 +2 seconds that modern Rolex movements follow as part of their superlative chronometer certification standards. Additionally, there are other key differences between the watches made by Rolex and Tudor, other than just the movements fitted inside them. In the past, Tudor watches used Rolex cases, and the various models from the two brands had a very similar overall appearance. These days, Tudor watches use their own cases, and while there is some degree of design DNA shared between them, they are immediately identifiable as different watches from their respective brands. Rolex famously never makes vintage-inspired or reissue pieces, and the company always pushes forward with its designs rather than looking back to the past. On the other hand, Tudor fully embraces vintage-inspired designs, and its heritage pieces now make up a significant portion of its overall catalog. Some of these models are near-identical recreations of vintage Tudor watches, while others simply draw design elements from a variety of historic Tudor models and combine them into an entirely new timepiece built for the modern era. Additionally, the materials used for the cases of Rolex and Tudor watches also differ slightly. Today, the only stainless steel Rolex uses is 904L, while Tudor uses 316L stainless steel like the vast majority of the other brands in the industry. While both types of steel are perfectly suited for watch cases, 904L offers superior corrosion resistance, and it can take on an exceptional polish that gives stainless steel Rolex watches a unique lustrous appearance. Furthermore, all gold components on modern Rolex watches are crafted from solid 18-karat gold, while Tudor makes a number of models with gold-capped parts so that the brand can offer two-tone timepieces without the high prices typically associated with them. However, Tudor uses some materials for its watches that Rolex does not. For example, there are Tudor watches that feature cases crafted from solid titanium, bronze, or ceramic, while all Rolex cases are made from either stainless steel, gold, or platinum, with the only use of ceramic being limited to its bezels. In that same vein, Tudor is typically more adventurous in its designs than Rolex, who is known for its remarkably consistent design language. There are also a number of design elements that are unique to Tudor watches that you simply will not find on any models from Rolex, such as its signature snowflake hands, clear display casebacks, black PVD finishes, and nylon straps. When it comes to each brand's most popular models, Rolex's list is far greater and includes a much more diverse assortment of watches. Both Tudor and Rolex produce a wide variety of different models, ranging from elegant dress watches to professional tool watches and everything in between. However, Tudor's most popular models are, for the most part, all sport and tool watches, particularly those from the Black Bay collection, while Rolex's most popular models are equally distributed between both its classic and professional lines. For example, it is no secret that Rolex sports watches are some of the most popular and fiercely pursued timepieces in existence. But the Datejust is the brand's best-selling watch of all time, and the Day-Date President is arguably the most popular gold watch ever created. For Tudor, it is the Black Bay collection that reigns supreme, and the brand has expanded it to include a wide variety of different sizes, styles, colors, and complications. Despite the numerous differences, the greatest factor separating Rolex from Tudor is price. At a retail level, Rolex watches cost approximately twice as much as their Tudor counterparts. But this is only part of the story. Many of Rolex's most desirable models are entirely unavailable at a retail level, and there is simply no way to purchase one without spending a significant amount of time on a rather lengthy waiting list. For Tudor, a number of the brand's top models still have waiting lists, but they are only a fraction of the length as those you will find at Rolex. While you may pay a slight premium above retail to skip the wait and get your hands on one of Tudor's most popular models, many of Rolex's top watches trade hands for nearly twice their original retail prices on the open market. So the true cost difference between Rolex and Tudor is actually far greater than the already substantial difference in their respective retail prices. In terms of functionality, the two brands have never been closer than they are today. But when it comes to their looks and pricing, they are arguably further apart than ever before. On paper, Rolex is the superior manufacturer, but that is to be expected considering it is the flagship brand between the two. Additionally, the Rolex name carries a level of prestige and recognition that few other manufacturers in the industry are able to match. However, when it comes to real-world performance, the differences separating these two iconic companies is far less noticeable, and a significant number of buyers actually prefer Tudor watches simply due to their lower price and greater availability. As far as which one belongs on your wrist, that is a decision that only you can make for yourself. Price is definitely one of the primary factors to consider, but each brand also has a different approach to design, and you may find that one simply resonates with you more than the other. Luckily, there are no wrong choices here, and regardless of whether you buy a Rolex or a Tudor, you will be getting a fantastic luxury timepiece from one of the world's top manufacturers, and it will be built to last a lifetime. Thanks for watching our video on Rolex versus Tudor. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on all of our latest video content.